play breads. Given that he's here, I can play the other one another night. Let's go to Minnehaugen. No, buddy. If you're here, we'll do yours. Definitely. Because I remember when I was way back in CC and like I'd catch Reeb when he was on, and it's just so much better to be able to respond in real time and chat away. Plus, it's good to show off yours. So Minnehaugen Park, is it this one? I think yes, and I believe you've done the form like really early on, because I was wondering whose course this was for ages. Right, so we've got a few things to note on this one. Firstly, did you use the whole signs? Because awkward if you didn't. Which tees would you like to be judged from? Blue tees, back tees. Any further conditions? Prevailing wind southwest. Max green speed 174. We'll go with defaults. Default firmness medium firm. We'll go with defaults. Any key design features you want to highlight? Wagon wheel routing is cool. Center point where multiple holes play to and away from. Excellent. Love that. Which means that you're probably going for, yeah, the 4 greens within 200 yards. Love that. Template hole of choice. And hole 1 or 18 to be a par 3. You have my attention. Hole 7 is a Redan inspired by Swinley hole 4. Excellent. I've played Swinley Forest, so I'm looking forward to seeing that one. Medium, so tougher CC/elite. And there's just an influence for the template hole. Great. So we're going with prevailing wind is southwest, wasn't it? Let's chuck that on. And we'll go medium. So yeah, I've seen nothing about this course. This is one of the... I kind of feel like I had a bit of heads up on most of them, either from Blue Team Discord or just chatting with others. So looking forward to seeing this. Because I didn't ever get to judge your course in the CC contest, which was... Ooh! Straight away I can see McConnell's influence of Marie's Dunes. Planting's good. Let's do a little zoom around. This is very Lake Marie. Oh, I like this. Now the thing that always leaps out with me is whenever you're doing the autumn theme is these like really, really bright trees. So like the yellows dotted around and the reds and what have you. I am going to play yours, yeah. Some areas remind you of packs as well. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for that. Now I haven't seen a course do the, like, I stumbled on the super wide mow lines recently. I haven't seen a course do those, so I'm interested in how they play. I like your texture colours, I think they work really well. I think I'd like to see you go a bit more muted on some of the trees, but we'll see how that plays. Oh, and here's your wagon wheel thing. That is quite cool. So this is our 4 greens within 200. I mean, the bridgey thing is like unique, definitely. I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, no, sorry, I said if you were here, I'm definitely going to play yours. Alright. So we've gone super heavy sunken trees, which I think we could have done it a little less densely. Like this sort of browny colour I'm all for. When it goes into like the greyy, metallic-y stuff, less sure on. Like the undulations, I like the first tee shot. So we're clearly on a short, well, I think I saw from the screen we're on a short course. Bunker positioning's good. Huh. Awkwardish little first tee shot. I love this mound because I can try and just bump off that a little. And hopefully funnel down. Yeah. Because straight away those little undulations give me a bit of a chance of playing this slightly differently. And we've got a pitch in, and I love that little swale there. And the fact that you've done not much else with the rest of the green. I'm not going to say nothing, there is some nice internal contouring, but I like that you've just got that one main feature and stuck with it and basically gone, well, the further right you are, the more you're avoiding that. I think that works really well. Bunker sculpting looks pretty good. Like you can see, you kind of got some lines coming through it, which is just, I think it's just difficult in this game with the flattened brush. I feel like you've got to go with raise, and like it looks like there's a little bit popping up. It's hard to explain this. Now you have wagon wheel stuck in your head. If you're using the spinning gingerbread man, occasionally they look like they're overlapping, but you haven't quite filled out all of it. So I think you just need to run a circle brush over it, like the bunker texture. There's just a little bit it's sort of missed. It's really annoying. Love wagon wheel. So Matt, do you not have a meeting? That's going to be... Oh, it's a perfect. I really like the textures you've chosen though. The green texture and fairway texture look really nice. In fact, everything. It's just a really cool look. 163. Okay, and you could push to 174. That makes sense. Wait, what? How's your max green speed 174? Oh, it's in 10 minutes. So, kind of similar to the last course, I think if you've published at 163, 163 is default fasts, so I kind of feel like you're basically taking an option away from schedulers with that. Whereas if you'd published at your 174 and said it's either fast or on defaults at 174 is as fast as you'd want it to go, then you give schedulers the option. Yeah, there's a bit more of the bumpiness in bunkers here. I think you need to run your circle brush over it a little bit more. There's some more on that one as well. Is it bad to publish at 8.5? I mean, it's not bad. It's just like that option's always there. If we customize when we put the greens to very fast, it's gonna go to that speed. It's good to design at that speed if you want that to be the maximum it plays. But I'd always publish at like 8.1 if that's the case, or 8.1 tends to be about 177, I think. I think that's where I put Yara, because then you just give schedulers an extra option. Yeah, exactly. What Matty said is less long-winded than what I had. Now I like this hole. I like this tee shot because you're trying to force me a little out wide. I don't think you need this little bit of fairway jutting in here because we're probably not using it. Maybe. Maybe. I think the angle into the green works and makes sense as well. Oh, look at this green. Contouring's great. Yeah, I can see why you wouldn't push it much bigger. Well, I know, I do. It would be better. And we're going to go in that bunker, which is well placed. Oh my, we've got a super low flying eagle. Is that... we've raised the plot up and the game's stupid thing. I like the water here. I'd probably like to see the water a little bit more. I know I'm in a bunker and therefore I've kind of taken it out of view, but I feel like water's going to really break this up. So like show it off a little if you can. I mean, I am all in on the vibe on this course though. I think the grasses you've done, the rocks, the planting, I really like it. I do stand by that I would rather not have these autumn trees. I just think the red ash really... It's kind of all I can see. If you imagine this picture without that, and that, and that, and that, I think it looks a lot more natural. Yeah, greens are great. Hey, Gravy. It's a good green site, isn't it? Bread, you've done this really nicely. Be the club. There we go. No, no, no. Bread. Damn it. I mean, I don't dislike the full tree vibe. I think there's unfortunately some of them in the game just demand your attention a bit more than others. Like they just grab your eye a little more. Ooh, I like this one. This is going to be a weird comment. Probably not a weird comment. I'd have shunted your tee about 10 yards to the right, purely because I like where you've got the bridge and I think it makes sense. I just think it's dominating the sightline a little much and cutting in a bit. Whereas if we were, just flick into camera mode. If we were here, I think this hole looks perfect. Whereas just there, do you kind of see what I mean? Like just moving the angle, I think, would make... Bridges are tricky. They kind of dominate a bit much. And some people really overuse them. Ooh, tiny little green. I really enjoyed the variety of greens we got here so far. And that's a dreadful tee shot. It's because I tried to hit a partial. Well, now we're screwed. I literally could not have missed in a worse spot. Pretty happy with that. I mean, are you still on... Is it PS4 or Xbox? I can never remember. Because planting, I hear, is an absolute nightmare on console, and you've done a really good job. Ah, nearly got it. Yeah, Jeremy, that'd sound about right. I think I had 8 or 8.1 was... This was your last Xbox course. And you've got a PC now. Excellent. You will love the difference. Petro's joining in. Yep, I like this as well. Okay, so we're in Boreal then. I guess I should have guessed, but it's hard to tell until you get the greeny sort of texture, which is a little weird. I am a big fan of this hole, because more than anything, I like the distance you put it at. Just in that it's not an auto full driver, and I'm kind of wanting to take a little bit off it if I can. And even then, it's not going to be right. That's alright. There's a tear. Okay, we can take that. I'm really, really enjoying this one. And I don't mean... I'm not trying to sound surprised, but like... I love it when I get into a course and just like it all kind of makes sense. I just think it's fun. Yeah, I've heard a lot of... Well, just console planting I think on this game is even tougher. And the mow line's starting to throw me a bit on this one. What is an absolute killer on this game is you can't set the direction of the mow lines. And I'm not sure I love it enough to have the really hard difference of textures. That said, everything else about this hole I love. I love your little waterfall and that it's understated. This bridge is not grabbing my eyeline at all. It's just like complementing it. It makes complete sense. Like if I think about where you came from with your first course with like the crazy big overblown waterfalls. Not overblown, but like they were pretty massive. This is a really cool way of doing waterfalls that's like a bit more understated, which I like. Some of these undulations could have been a bit smooth. Like, I think I'd have flattened out this bit a touch. But man, I'm enjoying, more than anything, I'm enjoying these greens. And we're back to the wagon wheel. Grovey will love the wagon wheel. There's a shot. The rendering distance, you can... Yeah. It's a tricky one. Ooh, this one's good. I think that tree limb feels a little giant. I love the little stagnant water you've got. Might have been tempted, again we're talking about where your tees are, I'd have been tempted to move this tee over here, which might mean you could dip the land in front and show off this water a touch more. Again, probably drop the bridge just a little as well, so it's out of sight a bit more, but this is good. I like the concept of this one where it's just cut the corner as much as you can, but actually I like that you kind of flipped it and that I don't think I really want to be miles right for that pin. These greens are all sorts of wild. Like, the variety of shape and size and slopes have been great. Let's just try hitting down here and see what happens. Don't you dare sculpt me so I'm bouncing off. Oh, Brad, you nasty, nasty man. That's okay. I don't mind laying up on this one. Not with that pin. Yeah, yeah, I could not agree more. They've been really cool. Not sure about the little humps and bumps here. There are very few people who like hummocks. I know Joe G will be a fan. I do like the patchiness of the fairway texture though. That's just working really nicely here. Buddy, you've nailed a ton of this. That's just a fun green to play into. This is a great hole. Ah, this is a stunner. Yep, so this is your Redan based on Swinley. I'm a huge fan. That bunkering is lovely. Might like to see you bring the grass in just a touch more in front here. Just because, kind of to hide this bit of sculpting. And this bit here, so like the bunkers almost come out of the grass. But damn, this looks good. Yeah, I can tell you template 3. I'm a huge fan of this. Oh, okay. I didn't realise the patchiness came from the Mo pattern. Cool. You learned something new. Oh, we're going to go... Let's go back left. The dead trees. Oh, I didn't mind them. I don't think. I definitely didn't mind the dead trees. I think mine would be the giant grass, kind of just appears a little more giant on this one. But it's not a major complaint. There we go. Yeah, there are no dead trees on Marie's dunes. So, this is good. This has been great, this course. This one feels like it could use a little something. Just off the tee. I don't... I'm not saying there should be a trap, but I don't really feel there's... I'm leaving a full wedge in regardless. Oh, that's a dreadful swing. Kind of forgot to complete my downswing there. Yeah, I love the green setting, I love the green slopes. I just don't... I feel the tee shot needed a little more. Okay, that's good to know that I'm not miles off. I mean, it's working away from the sunlight with undulations as well is always tough. That's captaincy. Now the short 4. This green I feel works a little less well. I kind of think you've got two greens here that you've just joined. So like it feels like there's a great green site here, there's a green site here, and we've just kind of merged the two. Personally feel like I'd have just stuck with the first one. I think that one looks like it fits really nicely. Don't think I want to be hitting driver. Think I want to be coming down here. Definitely want to be coming down here. I like the way you've placed the little spine. Wouldn't stand for it, Rhino. Oh, Jesus, that's an awful tee shot. Okay. Not my best. Nor my best second shot. It's okay, this will be fine. We'll just move on from this hole. I did not play that one well. I wonder when the lake would properly come into play. I might have liked these bunkers and just this fairway tightened in just a little. Like maybe to about here. Made me really panic about hitting between the bunkers and the water. Because I kind of feel like I can... Oh. Well, that one wasn't very fast, but okay. Yeah, I mean, I just don't feel that one should ever end up on the fairway. I've gotten away with one, and I'm screwed by... I love how you've done your green sculpting here, and the fact that it's flowing right to left, because that meshes with how you're trying to do the Minnetonka front nine. Oh, yeah, I like the way your green sculpting meshes with the rest of the hole. It makes sense. We got a slow. Oof. We are clawing awful, awful pars from everywhere. I like it. I do really like that hole. It's done well. I'd have maybe tightened up the tee shot just a touch, but not much more. Same again here, I think. Although with the wind makes this tee shot more interesting. I might have moved this bunker just a touch shorter and a touch left and like leave a little bit so that people can try to squeeze through the gap here. But I think that's personal preference. I feel like your sight line here is a little less good than on previous ones, and that bunker also could be bumped up a touch. I can't really see it, and I think part of that's also the rocky texture and the bunker texture. And like the mounding of the fairway when you consider the bunkers low, it's low bunkers that are lower than fairway are tough generally to do. Is it a three-shotter? Yeah, I think it probably is. I mean, certainly to that pin. So I guess it doesn't matter. Matty makes a good point. Oh, let's go and find the water out of nowhere. Yeah, why not? Let's play from here. Well, we're not salvaging a crappy par from this one. Whoops. I'll be honest, I genuinely think it's really close. What I'm loving is that I've done so many of these playthroughs now, and I am struggling to think of a course that I didn't like, let alone, and most of them I've loved. Yeah, I'm happy making a 6 on that. That was an awful, awful tee shot. This one's working a little less well for me. Like, I get the volcano green thing, but I feel like you wouldn't have an apron. Because kind of a function of an apron is either to have the ball roll all the way back down, which with the sculpting this isn't doing, or to roll the ball on. And you're definitely not rolling on a wedge shot hole. Kind of think you can just get away with having a tiny green. And that said, the green slopes themselves are good. You're gonna get some puddling comments around about there, but generally good. And sit just a little. Yes, I don't mind the runoff at the back. Decent. Yeah, McConnell likes volcanoes. It's because they're lacking in subtlety. This is a good tee shot. Feel like we've used a lot of central bunkers. I think maybe on this one you didn't need to use it, because if you're playing out right, out left even, you're leaving a ton of space in, like longer approach. I think I'd probably try only to use this when you have to. I guess where I'd say is hitting left actually a viable option? And I guess it kind of is, but would people choose that way? I don't really think they would. Suddenly getting some slows. Oh well. Now this little bunker I like, because that's going to make me think about where I'm playing now. And also, yeah, I think that works well. Oh, we haven't even got out of the heavy rough. Okay, yeah, I think that will work. And hopefully funnels down. Lovely. I think that pin position was good. I can imagine that's potential eagle pin if you play it right. Which obviously we haven't, but hey, we'll make a birdie and we'll be happy about it. Now this one I think works much better. I know it's kind of similar, but it just feels a bit more natural. I'm not sold on the mound coming in this way. I don't know. I think this sort of a green would fit. Like, imagine you made it a bit bigger. I think would fit a lot. Like, imagine I was hitting 200-yard shot into this, and it was a bit of a bigger green. I think these contours would make a lot of sense for a short three where we're expecting people to be accurate with a wedge. Don't think you need the extra help. Oh, that needs to go, doesn't it? Yep. Green is funky. Matty understands. Because I like the I really do like the contours on the green. I just don't think they're necessarily appropriate to the shot we're hitting in. Like, the main reason I'd say that is because it did need some extra help. Oh, I'm not saying I'm good. Never claiming that. Yeah, again, I'd love to see the water a touch more. It's if you're zooming over something and suddenly it's a surprise that it's there, and it's a cool feature like the water, I think we could do that a touch more. Ooh. Now I like the way you've staggered your bunkers here so that we can try to squeeze through. That works well. Nope, got the slow rather than the fast. I don't think I've had one decent approach into the par 5s. I know. Everything Wes is saying now I agree with. Ooh, that wasn't too bad. I wasn't expecting it to get anywhere near that far. Don't love this bit of green shape. I don't know, it feels a bit wavy for wavy's sake. Like, I think you'd probably just... I'm also confused as to why this dips off into... I don't know, this back corner of green doesn't make sense to me. I don't really get why it dips down into this. Because I feel if you're running off, generally try and dump me into fairway rather than dumping me into heavy rough. Or light rough first in this case, I guess. Aren't you glad you got the right one? Bread was always going to be a value pick. Yeah, I mean, when they work, but the mow lines. I think on balance, I like them on this course. But there are still just the annoying HB things that I hate about them. Well, tempo's gone to absolute shit. Oh my goodness, there's a par 4. Okay. Well, but the green makes sense for a par 4. I like that you've done the little weight. If you're going for this sort of a green, don't love the sculpting off the back of this. I think we could flatten that out a little more. And for the super long par 4, I don't know if you want that. That's fair. I remember doing mow lines on Hollingbourne for exactly that reason. See there, that's how you intended that slope to be used, and I'm really happy it's there. Because it just means we can, and the sloping on the green here makes sense. Yeah, smash that part. But I like it because it's basically an extra security blanket with some of those green slopes. Yeah. Thank you, Wes. That's okay. Ooh, drivable? Drivable. The question in my mind with drivable 4s is always why wouldn't I go for it? I don't really see a reason not to on this one. Because if we miss left, we're in a bunker and we've got a lot of space to play with. Miss right and we're in a bunker and probably fine. Miss long? Missing long would be the worst. I think. Huh. Well, this putt's going to be interesting. That's not too bad. Who was your 10th or 11th? Oh, was that Adam? Ah, that's the devil. I enjoyed that putt. Like, I liked that that was not a trivial 2-putt. Yeah, I get you. Good little par 3. I feel like the par 3s on the back have been a little similar. If we think of, like, not necessarily visually, but if you think of your green side, it's always been propped up, big apron and fall off in front. I think we've had 3 of those. This mound, having this high in front of the bunker that you then want to be high as well, is why your sculpting's a little bit awkward. I think you had to make a choice between the two, whether you wanted the mound or whether you wanted the bunker. I do like the way the front 2 bunkers look. I like... Yeah, I'd have probably... Honestly, I'd have lost the mound, I think. Actually, I'd have probably lost the mound and the bunker and just had a green that's on the diagonal, and then you're really showing off this sightline behind it. But yeah, I can see what you're going for. Just think in terms of distance and how they play, these 3s on the back have been a touch similar. That needed a fast. Oh, did not turn at all. Oh, that was 18. Huh. I like that 18. Okay, let's say a little bit more about 18. You've taken a big risk with that one. I like that 18's a par 3. The I think it's so drilled into me in TGC cliches that A, 17 is a par 3, and B, that we do par 3s overlooking the next hole. I assumed that your next hole was going to be your 18th, so I kind of feel a little not. I mean, I'm going to use the word underwhelmed, not by the hole, but by the fact that it's so ingrained with me. If there was screw you, Kenyon. But just because it's so ingrained in me, I do like that you've taken a big chance on going long 4, drivable 4, short / mid 3. That's cool. I like that we've had. I mean, look at the scoring run on the back. It's great. Have you gone 666? No, not quite, because the front. Huh. Yeah, generally, like things I loved about that. It's a short course that doesn't feel too short. I'm not going to play another one. Sorry, Matty. I'm going to be done for the evening. I liked that it was a short course that didn't feel short. I think when you nailed your green sites, they were really, really good. There's a couple of times where they weren't quite as good, or you kind of fell into the same sort of traps. And when that happens, I think just try, particularly on these sorts of courses where you've got mounds and you've got dunes and hills, like try playing with, well, what happens to this hole if I put the he's played with some waypoints. Like, what happens if I put the green at the bottom of the hill, or if I put it on top of the hill, or if I put it to the right or to the left, or like just play off that slope in a different way, and you might find it gives the hole an entirely different character. I thought strategically this is your best course by a mile. I did enjoy Green Inferno, but it felt a little bit forced in parts, whereas this one felt way more natural. There's some of the undulations that are softened a little bit on the way through, some of the green slopes, and actually no, we'll come back to the green slopes. But I thought that what you tend to do really nicely is you have some quirky ideas, and I think those are maturing a bit more, and just making they're just making more sense and fitting together well. I loved the amount of greens I looked at, and I just thought they made sense based on where the approach was and where the hazard off the tee was, and I think that's something that you've clearly put a lot of time into. Green slopes and shapes and sizes I thought were generally really, really good, particularly the first 4 or 5 holes I thought were very strong. They kind of get away from you in spots, and there's the odd bit of slope, there's the odd slope that just doesn't necessarily make sense, or because you're committed to, I'm thinking of that mound on 18, because you're committed to that, it then means the bunker can't necessarily work, because the two can't quite coexist. Where I think just keep evaluating as you go. But yeah, I love the quirk. What would things that I didn't like so much? Yeah, I didn't love the bright coloured fall trees. They kind of got used. I like that orange one we're seeing in the background. I'd be okay with, but the red and bright yellow ones I'd have probably lost. Anyway, that's going to be me for the evening. Look, Brad, really enjoyed that. That's a cracking course particularly coming from that position in the draft. And Rhino's got a winner in spite of the guy who. Was this not your course? Thought it was. So yeah, in spite of the guy not knowing who you were when he drafted you, like he's got a pretty solid pick there. I thought so. Cheers, chaps. Have a good evening. I'll pop these to YouTube later. And yeah, a lot of fun. Jeez, these courses just keep coming. Great stuff.